Blac Chyna, who we just discussed the other day, that's got to be the most we've talked about her, other than she was in the lawsuit with.
Yeah, so she was in that lawsuit with Rob Kardashian, which involved like his allegations of domestic violence against her. But earlier this week, we were talking about her because she revealed that she is going. She's having what they call a make under.
Yes.
Okay, rather than a makeover. She is reversing the effects of all of her cosmetic procedures that she's gotten over the years.
Is make under an actual term?
I mean, I've heard of it now.
Okay.
Like, apparently it is. So she's like gotten all of this silicone lipoed out of her body that she's had injected in her butt over the years. I think she said she's removing her breast implants as well. She's getting her filler in her face dissolved, and it's gonna be a really dramatic change. She said she started getting these when she was like 19, and I'm sure like she has like lip fillers as well, all sorts of different things done over the years. So she's reversing all of that. She wants to go natural, and now we believe it might be connected to her religious awakening.
And I urge any and all conservatives to not like jump on the bandwagon and start searching for validation from celebrities who start
like
base
Blac Chyna.
Oh my goodness, I'm becoming.
Is she one of us?
Like it's like there's somebody needs to make like a funny graph where it's like days since announcing religious rebirth, and then like days till Tucker Carlson appearance.
Literally,
and we can literally
Blac Chyna is about to go on Tucker.
How long until he's like. Like how long until he makes the face when she's explaining?
Tuckers.
Yeah, like when she's like, he's like, tell us about like all of the times that you've had to get plastic surgery, and then she's talking about the horrors of plastic surgery, and he just has to sit there and make the face the whole time. Don't do it. Don't fall for it. Politics and society, culture are not team sports, and I beg of you to not look to these vapid celebrities for any type of affirmation about your way of life, because even if they pay lip service to the way you see the world, they don't live in the same world that
I don't necessarily think Blac Chyna's religious conversion is not sincere on an individual basis.
No, I'm not even saying that.
So she got a baptism on her birthday last year in May, and she said that this was like a big turning point moment for her. Now she's going by her birth name, which is not Blac Chyna, believe it or not.
That's crazy.
It's Angela White.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really see her as an Angela. I see her as Blac
It's gonna be
Chyna
rough
still.
because there's definitely a porn star named
So
Angela.
I guess we're just dead naming her now.
There you go.
She's gonna now all her search results are gonna get mixed up with the porn star
So
Angela
it's
White.
the same difference.
Sucks.
It's all ends up back in the same place. It's a rough life for them.
And now she is quitting OnlyFans. She says she made $2 million in 2 years on there.
$20 one.
Nate Parrott said, "Why can't women be badass like anime girls? They can punch an enemy through a wall with great strength, but still be feminine and likable. Not see you next Tuesday like Western women."
Because the way it's written is written by people who don't actually know how to interact with other human beings, nor do they understand how men and women correctly interact together in healthy ways. And the scripts they're writing don't display actual things that happen in the real world anyway. The example I always give is like for every pound a girl is under 90 pounds is another Navy SEAL she can beat up. That's not the real world.
Yeah.
Hollywood does not depict the real world. Why would you assume they would be able to depict the real world in strong, independent women
And
either?
Off of that, I do think a good example would be Tarantino movies. Like if you look at a Kill Bill, I think that obviously it's very dramatic, but her motivations, they're still based on her being a mother. So it connects like the feminine nature with being a badass, and that's why his movies are unique. So I think someone like him,
They used to be able to do that in Hollywood.
There is an action film coming out on Netflix called wasn't it just The Mother?
Yeah.
With
Also,
Jennifer Lopez.
there was
where
Peppermint.
It's the same type of concept.
Yeah, Peppermint in 2018 was basically the Taken movies, or it was basically John Wick, but it's a mom who loses her husband and daughter, or husband and son, if I remember correctly. So yeah.
But anyway, back on topic.
Back on topic.
Sorry.
She said she made $2 million in 2 years.
That's good.
It's not. I mean,
Take your money
it's
and run.
definitely not bad money.
Get
but
your bag, queen.
you know,
being
you
that
have to
famous.
decide whether you think that's worth it.
Her baby daddy is a Kardashian. Like, if you really
Yeah.
think about it. So, like, that's where it's a little bit okay.
Well, it's confusing. Like, how much is she getting in like alimony and child support from Rob Kardashian?
Because where is Rob? That's a good question. Where in the world is Rob Kardashian?
They were like on trial, right, last year, and we talked about that then. He said that she like whipped him with cables and like all of this other crazy stuff. That she was violent and abusive, and maybe
Jesus will help her stop being violent and
maybe
abusive.
she's had a literal come to Jesus moment where she's evaluated her actions. I don't know, but I can't really get that out of my head with everything that's being covered about her recently. And if it were a man, it would be getting rehashed in the beginning of every single article. You know.
What would Blac Chyna got? Would Blac Chyna got the guy just be China spelled with an I, not with a Y? Like, is that what Blac Chyna, the male name version is? Like, it would all start with like, and he was known for beating his girlfriend with a cord.
Yeah, I mean, they would rehash it and Me Too the hell out of this story if Blac Chyna were male. Like, it's just a fact.
Yeah.
But we asked you guys a question, and it was like, do you think becoming religious is becoming a trend?
Shall we end the
In
poll?
Hollywood, I guess, is the real question.
Yeah. So the poll says with 40% of the answer, they say no. No, never mind. 39% say not sure. 32% say yes, and 27% say no.
Okay.
I think that for
We're
a lot
really
of them,
mixed.
in the next 5 to 10 years, the more industrious of the managers and the people that understand that these people don't oftentimes hold the beliefs that they espouse in these shows, in interviews, they're talking heads. They really are talking heads who say they did it 20 years ago when they paid lip service to Christian conservatism in their interviews, and obviously before that
Sort
as
of like
well.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, they will pay lip
before.
service to whatever pays their paychecks. And eventually what will happen is the best of the managers will explain to these stars that, look, your career's been lagging for a while. It's time to make a comeback. It's time to make a rebrand. And they will take your belief system, your views of the world, everything you hold dear, and they will turn it into a chameleon-like cover in which they can rebrand their career as being this or that. And I think that that's what will happen to a lot of them.
And I think branching off into like non-celebrity world, I mean, we can tie this in that she does OnlyFans and, you know, I think that a lot of girls are going to have this. And it seems like because Christianity is so open and they have that, like, you know, you can get baptized and it's like you can start over. I think that we're going to see this too from women who are retiring out of that type of really extreme sexual content or whatever they're doing.
They're going to have to find another way
They have to have a
rebrand.
revival. Yeah, have to have a revival, or at least on their conscience say, oh, okay, I'm changing. And this is a signifier of it that people recognize, which is Christianity. And so I think that that's going to be a way to kind of get out of that OnlyFans.
What would
way.
be the other way? If you're an OnlyFans girl who spends however many years making as much money as you do on there,
The
and
only
you
other
realize
way-
that you have to rebrand, that you can't do that anymore, where do you go? Like, if not religion, where do you go?
You denounce it. I mean, or they go into the.
They get a book deal.
They
and
get a
write
book deal, they say,
Say
this is
the
abusive.
industry hurt me.
The industry,
That's
the
what it is.
men in the
It's a
industry.
victimhood narrative.
Yeah.
How do
You
they
either
do that when they
choose to
work on their own? If they're-
Continue doing OF and be in like cognitive dissonance land where you pretend nothing is wrong.
Yeah.
Or you say the industry hurt me and I'm a victim somehow and this wasn't my choice.
The
or
tripod
third, you
itself.
actually take accountability and perhaps turn to religion because it's like the only saving grace you have.
But here's the problem. I don't see a way for Western society, as heavily involved as it is with feminism now, I don't see a way for there to be a narrative for a lot of these people to get out of it without it being religious. Like, they won't just get out of it because sex work is bad. They will get out of it because they found religion and sex work is bad.
And especially-
because saying otherwise would be to say that sex work is bad, and they won't want to say that because the younger generation of women who are still looking to work in that field will call them anti-feminist.
Exactly. No, that's a really great point. And the fact that OnlyFans is more independent, you can't necessarily say it's like how the PORN industry was back in the day, where you had an agent and that they were all men. Now it's it's all you. You know, the men are supporting you, but it's all you deciding to do it and going into it. So you don't need this evil man pushing you into this.
I can't wait to start seeing all of the ways they twist, like literally choosing on their own to go do OnlyFans and how they're going to be
Blac Chyna
victimized.
is saying that she's kind of implying she did this because of financial desperation. She said, I'm not doing OnlyFans anymore. I'm kind of past that. It's one of those things where I did what I needed to do at that moment because of the circumstances I was in. Besides, with me being baptized, that's just not what God will want me to do. It's kind of degrading. So it takes some honesty to admit that that is a degrading thing to do. But like, she's implying she did this because she had to out of survival.
But when will they understand? Like, who will be the ones that admit that it's degrading without having God to be part of that? Like, it is degrading, but is it degrading?
You don't have a reason for saying that if you don't have religion, right?
That's what I'm asking you. I'm like, is it degrade? Like, can they find a way to rationalize or explain what's degrading about it without using the religious context?
I don't think so. But what do you think?
I think you can, but it's not as easy. And there's a lot more.
Very difficult.
So it's a lot easier if you pin it on Christianity. No one can really criticize that because it's your religious beliefs, and those are like, you know, established already. So I think it's just the easiest way to do it. But I think you could make a non-religious argument against OnlyFans or against doing that, but it's just not as easy. And there's more debate that would be had with it.
Because like for me, look, you can make that argument. You can make the non-religious argument against the porn industry because of trafficking, because of subjugation, enforced, you know, all the things that have come out in the past that do that involve physical force from another person. So like, as somebody like me who, as a not a big L libertarian, but with libertarian principles, would say like, look, if somebody's forcing you to do something that is inherently bad, that is inherently wrong, how do you make that argument for something where you made the choice to do it? I think that the critical theorist approach would be to say society has subjugated women at every level and it was the only option they had. They couldn't go work at Starbucks. They had to make an OnlyFans. How else were they going to survive? And there are people that will be dumb enough to buy that.
Yeah, the income thing is really interesting to me too. I mean, because if you look at the numbers on OnlyFans specifically, it's only the top 1%. It's literally a pyramid scheme.
It's like less than the top 1%.
Less than 1% that are actually making significant money that would say, oh, this is better than having a normal job. So the money argument only really factors in if you are highly successful and what are the chances of becoming highly successful in there.
Joining OnlyFans for women is being a SoundCloud rapper for men. Remember that.
Well, the only reason that Blac Chyna made any money on OnlyFans is because she had an existing established identity. She's like a video vixen or whatever. She was like Nicki Minaj's stunt double
in Monster.
And you know, she has ties to other famous people. But if you're just a total nobody, you might be convinced watching this big celebrity make millions of dollars to try it out yourself.
My push was like, I said, look, it's good for the culture for us to talk about it and encourage her like that she's found this new path. But I'm just saying, don't tie your identity to these celebrities. Just don't, whatever you do. Do not let Tucker Carlson talk to this woman and make her some conservative spokesperson. It's stupid. There's a $20 one from Steve Ryman.
Oh, Steve Ryman said, Cynic's interjection, chances are she saw dropping OF revenue, which led to her epiphany regarding it being degrading. Funny how they don't tap out at the top of their game. Then you can rebrand yourself and grift again.
I mean, is it like if she believes?
Pretty true.
I don't know if I call her selling herself like. Is that even the context of the word grift?
Well, like, we might need to wait. She might end up creating a product.
Yes.
She might start selling something and somehow tied to her new
lifestyle. A naturopathic guru influencer.
The new stuff might be a grift. I don't know. I would buy that who she was before would have been just as much who she was then.
I mean, I would still prefer this even if it's cynical over Iggy Azalea getting into a scrappy fight with Isabella Riley on Twitter, defending her OF, saying, you know, your husband should subscribe, all of this disgusting stuff, claiming, you know, it's even better that she can be on OnlyFans and be a mother at the same time, which has consequences. I'm sure she.
Well, that we're not even going to know the consequences of that for at least the next however many years when these kids start hitting.
Exactly.
Like there's already examples of that, of kids that whose parents worked in the industry who then have to live it down. But now there's going to be so much more widespread. And honestly, it's almost even worse too, because like for the kids whose parents did it and made a lot of money, that's one thing. But for a kid whose mom just made like nothing off of it and
it's so easy to find. Like I remember when I was in even like middle school. Oh, you can find it.
Thank you
guys. Sorry.
I don't.
Wow.
She didn't freak out. She freaked out.
I didn't.
She was. You were more freaked out by the first money.
I love that.
Cute.
Is it still weird hearing your voice?
A little bit.
In that? Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying?
So I remember like when so different, but you could find like teachers' Facebook profiles, but now imagine you can find any kid's mom. You can find anything online, so it's going to be so easy for kids to bully in the next 5 to 10 years with kids who are in middle school, and especially if they're a boy.
But don't you know people should just be taught not to bully?
Yeah, there we go.
Solve all of those problems.
Yeah.
We just found out
like
solution.
It used to be jokes about about how it would be like actual jokes about like doing someone's mom. Now it's gonna be like, I just subscribed to your mom's OnlyFans. That's all they're gonna have to say.
Tell your mom she should do more request videos.
Yeah. Tell her to answer my request.
Answer my request.
Custom video, please.
Yeah.
It's oh man. Oh. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.